Yeah. OnChain Revolution, you're not bullish enough. OnChain Revolution, you're not bullish enough. Every day we steady looking at the market, and we gon' tell you how to get started. Chain abstraction, fear and greed index, always looking at price action. Broke on advance, you don't even gotta mention. I swap it in the decks, you're not bullish enough. Traded in the segs, you ain't trenching enough. We do that market recap. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to rehab. The Shizzy and Jago beat. OnChain Revolution, network in the art. Every day we go live, baby, you know where we are. We mention all the networks and the crypto. Need some more liquidity, flipping and trading is the recipe. Too many protocols to count. I get high and I'm never coming down. Number go up, then I'ma say peace. Yeah, you thought that I was gonna leave. Yeah, we just getting started, man. OnChain Revolution. Every day. Bring the beat back. Eyes everywhere, gotta be careful with volatile meme coins. You can get some bread if you round trip it, then you gon' regret. All this information in my head. BYOR, touch grass instead. Nobody really knows how it's gonna end up today. Somebody gotta tell you what's happening today. I don't let the money change me no way. OnChain Revolution, here to stay. Yeah, say I'm Sage, man. Voodoo 2 on the way. Yeah, Nicky's. Yeah, OnChain Revolution. OnChain. Hey, OnChain Revolution. Bitcoin not an illusion. Market recaps, then I do a roll call. You're not bullish in the vocal. Look at the price action, trend. Yeah, send it to the deck. Yeah, sell it through the spec. Ordinal's the best. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to read. If you end up bearish, gotta put the knee back. Let me see the comments. Look at the fear and greed index. Bridge. Look at the chart.
Welcome back to OnChain Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire Bitcoin and crypto ecosystem. What is up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We're live for the OnChain Hour, and today's episode is going to be very macro, right? That's what we're kind of dealing with right now. We're dealing with a very macro market, reacting to the tariffs, reacting to what is going on in the S&P, reacting to what is going on in the DXY. The DXY is down 2%. It doesn't sound like a lot, but that's $12 trillion. I mean, Bitcoin is a less than $2 trillion asset. Gold is like an $18 trillion asset. And the DXY is down $12 trillion today. Like, it is not a good situation, right? But we have some things to look forward to. I know this is the part of the show where I usually come in, I'm bullish, but right now, you know, it's really hard to be bullish, even for me, even someone who's overly bullish like me. But at the same time, you know, long term, I'll never not be bullish. For the short term, man, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried about, you know, the next 3 weeks. And I was really bullish going in, thinking we're gonna have a nice 10 weeks. But I mean, if we get into summertime and we're still, you know, dealing with these tariffs, dealing with macro situations, I mean, we might have to wait till September, October to have fun. And I just want to have fun. I don't even want to be a millionaire this year, right? I just want to have fun. I just want to have a good time talking crypto, talking fun, having fun with the markets. And but I do think we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. So, but hey, maybe me being a little bearish, maybe we'll make the markets go up. The markets like to do the opposite of what I think sometimes. But we have a good show for you guys today. We're gonna get into a lot of stuff. So without further ado, we're bringing my partner here as always, Mr. Yago B. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
What's up, man? You feeling like I'm feeling, bro?
A little bit, but I'm not feeling. I feel a little bit different than previous doom and gloom situations.
Yeah.
Because we do know that, you know, financial markets are forward looking. Once they get past kind of like that big like hurdle, obviously we hope that we're past it now that this has been announced. But I truly do think this is a chess move. As much as some people in the comments might be like, you know, not really, you know, wanting to hear that. We got to remember what happened with the scares of the tariff threats the past couple months, right? You had like the largest semiconductor manufacturer invest billions into creating a warehouse in Arizona. You have the CEO of Apple saying that he's going to build a factory or a warehouse in Austin, I think, or in Texas somewhere.
Yeah.
Investing, and then you have Honda investing in a factory in Indiana, right? And that was before this layout happened. So I truly think this is more of trying to get that outside investment back in, and then the manufacturing part. Say what you will, that will take time, but getting the investment, I think, is the most important thing, right? If companies are pouring billions into infrastructure for manufacturing in the U.S., that's what I think his game plan is. I don't think he intends to keep these tariffs, for the next 3.5 years, right? But it is a shock and awe kind of experience, and I get that because it's hard not to take this at that surface level. You know what I mean? Once you hear the news and see it.
Yeah, 100%. And like, I'm somebody who wants the DXY to go lower, right? I'm somebody who really wants, but not like this. This is a $12 trillion candle. I mean, this is in a macro situation. We want the dollar to keep dropping, but we want the dollar to keep dropping and like this, right? Not like this. And let's just jump to the S&P. S&P getting absolutely manhandled again today. This is the close from yesterday, right? And this is today. Like this is bad, guys. Like this is in a macro environment. This is worse than what was going on in 2022 with the inflation because of the fact that the Fed had a plan. I don't think the Fed has a plan this time.
Well, look, they have to come up with a plan, and I think they've known, that Trump is going to try to strategize here, right? So I think they come out with something that might surprise us whenever Jerome comes back to speak. What is that tomorrow?
Yeah, Friday. Yeah, I have that here. Let's
Okay.
just jump in
There you go.
let's jump into this first. So we have the level of tariffs, Donald Trump. So let's just take a look at them real quickly. So this is the tariffs here. Probably zoom in on this. I hate Twitter. It doesn't look something. But anyway, China 67%, European Union 39%, Vietnam. So this is way worse.
That's what they tariff us, and then this is what they on the right.
Oh, okay, I got
the
you.
U.S. added. So this is kind of what they added on top of what we're already charging some of them.
Yeah.
For example, like China, I think we've had a 20% tariff on them, so now it's 54%. So we don't have that other data, but you can kind of go on what has been added here.
Yeah, 34 for China, 20% for Union. So this is what they charge us. So what's the big deal that we're just heading on back?
It's not an accurate number of what the tariff is for us. It's more of the trade deficit kind of looped into this mathematical equation.
Gotcha.
So I would look at this and say, okay, this is trying to bring the whole point here is to try to bring the deficit as close to zero as possible between the two, right? And so that's not what they're tariffing us. That's more of a calculation of the trade deficit plus some other numbers they threw in there. So a lot of people are actually talking about that. So that's why I think it's more of a chess move. You know what I mean? Because if it was just straight up, okay, reciprocal even, then they wouldn't have posted those numbers. They would have posted the actual tariff that we're going to be charged.
I gotcha. But don't worry though, because Michael Saylor, he comes in. He says there's no tariffs on Bitcoin. There's no tariffs on it. So,
true.
But anyway, let's get into some. So Friday, April 4th, what you were just kind of talking about. So 11:25 a.m., which we'll be live for. Jerome Powell will be coming out and he's speaking. Maybe we'll show a little bit of that. Maybe we'll actually probably a perfect time for that. And then at 12 p.m., Governor Michael Barr, somebody who's been really, really dovish lately. And then Governor Christopher Waller, who's somebody who's been hawkish. So it's going to be interesting to kind of see Jerome Powell. I'm kind of expecting them to get hammered with questions on tariffs, and to the point of to a breaking point where they got to say something. They got to tell us their plan, right? They can't just come out and say, well, we need more data. No, we got to be, we got to have a plan in place we can't let things happen first, right? We gotta have a plan in place now.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with that because it's more of bringing society that doesn't
Yeah.
look deeper than just, oh, tariffs, blanket tariffs,
Yeah.
and bringing them more to get, their anxiety level down. Because right now, that's the problem. Everybody
Yeah.
has this anxiety level, but I just saw a post really quick, and I won't go too deep into it.
Yeah.
But this guy Charlie Shrem, and this makes a lot of sense. He says tariffs aren't the story. Since Trump took office in January this year, 10-year yield has dropped from 4.79 to 4.17. Look how much it's dropped today. That's 0.62% drop. May not sound much, but until you realize the U.S. has 36.5 trillion debt, this is stealth refinancing on a historic scale. So there's a lot of things I think happening kind of behind the scenes, right? Like refinancing that debt, also having leverage for negotiations for companies to come in. So it looks horrible right now. Let's give it some time, though.
Yeah. Do you know who that Charlie Shrem guy is?
I don't. Do you?
Yeah, so he and Eric Voorhees had a company in 2011, 2012 that was basically an aggregator for Mt. Gox. They are actually the two guys who the Winklevi used their Facebook money to invest in. They actually invested in Charlie Shrem and Eric Voorhees' company, and then Eric Voorhees left, and then Charlie Shrem was just a mess of a person, and then went to jail for 4 years for he wasn't getting KYC. He was basically taking the Japanese company Mt. Gox was and giving you access to that, and they were actually doing stuff for you as an aggregator and stuff like that. So he actually did a lot of time behind bars and stuff. He was he was an early Bitcoiner though. I mean 2010, 2011, like good friends with Eric Voorhees, but just messed everything up. He used to ride with Roger Ver.
Gotcha.
Yeah, man. He's brought that up. He's brought all those from that book I read about him. But yeah, I don't know if he's like a macro guy now though.
Well, I mean, he had some good points though. Like if you just
sure.
you lower it a couple of bips, that's a lot of interest that you can save and get some breathing room for the the U.S. debt. And also the market was overheated. The TradFi market was overheated from last year, right? Like all these new all-time high. So we got Warren Buffett, people like him with like billions and cash on the side. Once they're ready to deploy, I think there could be a huge thrust up for financial markets. But when will that be? That's the big $1,000,000 question.
So key economic events, April 9th to the 11th. So Wednesday, April 9th, 2 p.m. We'll release the Fed's March FOMC minutes. So we're gonna get a kind of an idea of what they were thinking in March. And then on Thursday, reports on initial jobless claims and core CPI year over year. And then Friday, April 11th at 8:30, we'll release the core PPI. These are 2 data points that we really need to see come in line, because next one and the next one and the next one could be very transitory, meaning like they could be tariff infused, right? I mean, CPI numbers could be really, really jacked up going into like after these tariffs kind of go into effect. I mean, we're talking, we probably won't see anything until July, any data points, but we need these data points to go lower before then.
Yeah, I agree with that, but also I think more importantly, and this is just my opinion, is kind of what Jerome Powell says, right? And I feel like his tone.
Well, he's not talking
Oh,
tomorrow. He is, but yeah.
That's so it's for
Okay.
tomorrow. I think it's important because it seems like the market has been reacting to that a little bit more than the actual data lately, because the data hasn't been like so drastic lately, right? And so for him, when he's more dovish, which he kind of has been, the market is responding a little bit good to that. Tomorrow, I agree. Like, people are probably going to be trying to ask questions. Are you guys going to come and play Superman? Are you going to play hero? Are you going to come in and save the day here? So I think he has some tough questions to answer tomorrow, but I think he'll be ready.
Do you see a possibility of dropping 10 basis points tomorrow? Maybe dropping a whole point? I mean, right now we're at 3.75. I mean, taking us down to 2.75 could really, and he could be like, this is a trade story. We just want to get ahead of this.
I think that would be a very low percentage chance for tomorrow. But if it continues, because I think right now you got to see how long the hangover lasts, right? Like right now, kind of like you're just starting that hangover from yesterday, announcement.
Yeah.
How long does this impact last for? Does the market kind of rebalance and start to get more forward looking, accept this new strategy and look to the future? Or is it a hangover that lasts for like, a week or whatever? And then they'll probably reassess as it seems like it might be getting worse and worse and worse. At that point, I think they come in and step in.
Yeah. 100%. Okay, so Sony Electronics Singapore has partnered with Crypto.com to enable USDC payments on the Sony store online. So they're kind of using Singapore right now as a testing bed to see if this works, because Singapore is a very open crypto country, right? So they're kind of using it as a testing bed to see how often it's used, But I love this. I love being able to potentially use USDC, and then imagine sitting on your couch, you're about to buy something. Instead of having to like go to your credit card, you can just take a picture of it. Like, not even, just put your camera up, get the QR code, pay for it with your MetaMask, boom, done. Right, done in seconds using Base or using Ethereum or whatever. I think that would be a lot better than having to put in your credit card, because it does suck though. You need to put in your credit card information and stuff like that. I personally don't like leaving my credit card on there, because I got kids, and sometimes they press too many stupid buttons, and then I see on my phone that I was charged $70 for a game that he probably won't ever play. So I don't keep my credit. So anytime I want to buy something, I got to physically put my card's numbers back in, and then it would be so much easier if I can just pay with my USDC.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm not so sure they're just pushing random stupid buttons though. They know they're smart. They know what they can.
Yeah.
No, I'll just mess with you. But like,
No,
yeah,
you're right, 100%.
I agree with you. Like, it's actually kind of like a safe kind of haven for parents in a sense, right? Because like the kids aren't gonna know really how to do it. Plus, they won't have the access to the wallet, right? So, I agree. Really simple. Take the snapshot of the QR code, make the payment. You got the item. That's exciting. Also, Crypto.com is headquartered in Singapore, so this makes sense, right? So this is huge. I think that this is probably being overshadowed by the macro news with tariffs, but I think this is a huge move for really Web3 gaming. Even though it's not Web3 gaming, it's just kind of the gaming and Web3 testing things right now, right? So I love this.
Yeah, so I think it's the Sony store, right? I think it's just a Sony store for now. But I think the Sony store is the same thing I use on PlayStation Network, though. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So the U.S. House Committee passed a Stable Act to regulate stablecoins, sending a full House vote for further consideration. So finally, it was worded correctly. They got all the wording done. It finally got passed. Now it goes to the House of Representatives to kind of get that final pass before it'll hit Trump's desk. This includes issuer restrictions, strict reserves, and no yield and consumer protection. So kind of I this is the one part in that I don't like. So no yield means the stablecoin can't earn interest or rewards for just by holding it. So unlike crypto or bank savings, you won't get any extra money over time for owning that stablecoin. So I was thinking potentially that I could put have my money in my bank account as a stablecoin, and potentially I could earn 2-3% on that, which is a lot better than the 0.0003% in a savings account now, right? But it looks like they don't want the banks to compete on yields, and because that'll get like a little bit risky. They're saying in this act the banks cannot use stablecoins, but you were telling me earlier, and you kind of get into this if you want to, that the banks can't, but other providers could, right?
Well, so this is an assumption. So this is kind of something I'm speculating because I haven't dove into the Genius Act, but there's a reason why the banking system wants the Genius Act as well to go through. So my understanding is the Stablecoin Act is for institutions that are managing $10 billion or more in stablecoins per institution, so that they would follow those rules. Underneath that would be, a separate act called the Genius Act, and I think that's where things can get a little bit more flexible, especially if you go to more like smaller banking and regional banks and stuff like that. But I'd have to look into it because look, at the end of the day, if crypto is global, right, which it is, we know it is, and the U.S. market isn't offering any yield with stables, but like other countries like China's like, why not? We want to share some.
Yeah.
We want more users. There's going to be people that participate in those markets instead. So the competition is going to kick in, I think, with that. Now you might have to deal with like taxes and all that crazy stuff because of like where you live, your IP, all that stuff. But I'm just saying, don't think that other regions won't take advantage of no yield at all and Stable Coin Act and Genius Act, because there will be institutions outside the US that will say, hey, look, you could park your stables over here and earn.
Yeah, 100%. Couldn't agree more. So there's another thing. So the U.S. House Financial Service Committee also passes the Anti-CBDC Surveillance State Act, which is good. So that basically blocks the creation of a U.S. central bank digital currency for good, right? When something we won't have to worry about. This is something that China has implemented. This is they have a CBDC. Europe seems to have they're going the CBDC route as well, and the U.S. we're going to go through a stablecoin, war to see which one's the best, and going to let the markets decide which stablecoin is the best. It's probably going to be a mixture of a couple different ones, right? I can't see a clear winner coming out of here, but it's probably going to be, potentially PayPal, potentially USDC, maybe Strike, right? We'll see though. But in the end though, you're going to be making these payments and stuff like that. You're not even going to know what stablecoin you're going to be using. But I do like the fact that the United States at least will not have a CBDC. At least during this president and maybe the next president, because you never know, things can get overturned in the future, but hopefully it doesn't happen. So
yeah, and also we know that the state of Wyoming is releasing their own stable coin too, so it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, because like how are these stable coins going to be kind of viewed in terms of like the safest to the most risky, right? Something like state of Wyoming, I would imagine that would be safe because it's a state and their citizens, and right, so maybe their regional banks in Wyoming will utilize that more, be pushed towards that. But it's going to be interesting to see how this market plays out in the US, because it's going to look way different. Obviously CBDC controls everything, so
and it's really cool how the state of Wyoming does it. Potentially you might be able to take your salary, instead of getting direct deposit to a bank, maybe direct deposit into your crypto wallet, right? That's whether that's Coinbase or something like that. Maybe they have to, maybe it's a centralized direct deposit, but maybe Cash App or Venmo as well, because Venmo could take any stablecoin really. But yeah, so this is gonna be really cool to see what happens next. I think stablecoins are the first foot to drop, and then we're gonna get real regulation for crypto. I'm actually really excited for that. So
yep.
All right, so this is bad news bears here. JP Morgan says 14 public Bitcoin miners lost 25% of their market value in March, or $6 billion in their worst month ever. So March was the worst month for Bitcoin miners. What do you think about this? What do you think about potentially these miners might be in trouble? And we do know the mining fee has dropped. I mean, blocks are almost empty. We do know that they've been selling down stock, which could be a part of 25% to buy Bitcoin, right? What do you think about this? Is this something to worry about?
I don't think so. The major players in the mining industry, they have plenty of runway. Most are public anyways, and so they have plans. They have really good planning for situations like this, right? Like tough situations. The ones that like are going to struggle are the ones that like maybe made it through being a medium-sized miner or something like that, and then they're kind of like on the edge of like a larger size or whatever. They might get hit more, but even them, they probably have they have plans for this, because the small miners and stuff, they either got out or just joined, like they got out, most of them, because I know somebody that made tons of money, by the way, over the last like 6 to 8 years, but like once the big boys came in, they switched to AI compute, like putting out compute right for their warehouses. And so I think this is fine. Now if this continues month after month, then we gotta probably have another conversation.
Yeah, if JP Morgan comes out, I was just actually going to ask you that. If JP Morgan comes out next month and says, no, April was their worst month, they lost $7 billion. Can they afford another 25% loss? I mean, what happens at that point? Hash rate's at an all-time high, right? We're seeing these guys add and add and add. And where's that money coming from? Like if the Bitcoin blocks are empty, if they're only getting, I mean, half the amount of Bitcoin from, just what was that 14 months ago, right? Do you think it's sustainable? Is it like I'm actually getting worried for the Bitcoin miners here?
I think, yeah. I mean, of course, you get another layer
Yeah.
of anxiety.
Yeah.
But again, I don't think 2 months would like. I think if like we get to 3 or
Yeah.
something, 4,
Gotcha.
then we're in some like hot water.
Do you think hash rate is as topped out here then? Or do you think
Um,
it continues to go up?
I mean, like right now is like all this bad news is just kind of
Yeah.
coming out like in the past day or so, right? Like
Yeah,
together,
yeah.
perfect for this thing. I think things calm down.
Yeah.
Because last week we were just talking about hash rate and how like the price typically follows hash rate, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with M2 money supply. We got to remember those catalysts are still there, even
Yeah.
though this kind of bad news event happened yesterday. I think like our space moves extremely fast,
Yeah.
and so next week I think we're going to be talking about something completely different. I think the hangover's done, in my opinion. Next week, the only thing that can kind of prolong that is if like these other countries come out like really strong, swinging back and all those things. But I don't know. We're going to find out very soon in the next 48 hours, I believe. Like who is the early countries that are trying to get a deal in quick, and who's
Yeah.
trying to be stubborn with all this.
100%. So in your opinion, where be at, bro? Where be at? Remember this
is like
chart?
the
We were
worst,
talking about this,
yeah, this is
dude.
the worst question. This is irrelevant now. Like this no longer works. No, just kidding.
All right. So what I'm thinking, and I've said this multiple times, is we're kind of in our cycle, our 4-year cycle has now been reduced to multiple cycles within a cycle. Right. So I feel like we're going to see, I feel like, this started, let's just say November, right? We kind of December, January peeped out. And then it's just been, we've dealt with complacency. We've dealt with anxiety. We've dealt with denial and so on the past month. I even panicked a little bit and I'm angry. I'm pissed off. All right. So do we have a little bit of depression to go before we see disbelief and kind of come back this way? And I feel like we're gonna see like 4 of these cycle. But I can't wait to kind of get it. Maybe are we in depression? Like,
Well, so this typically people try to play this off of the 4-year cycle. This is Wall Street, but this has been
yeah,
heavily used with the 4-year
yeah,
crypto cycle as well, right? And I think this is like you mentioned, it's been reduced, it's been shortened to where like
yeah,
now it's like we like almost had one full version of these in a year, right? In a
yeah,
year and a half almost. And so it's going to be interesting because you got to remember like what we're going through right now was a little bit similar to something like 2008 2009, right? Like in terms of
yeah,
economic, and it's not just because new administration comes in with tariffs. No, you got to remember guys, like we just came out of COVID and we
yeah,
had this artificial propped up artificial data saying jobs were so good, the economy's so good. It was lies. It was propped up to not give anxiety to the public, right? Nevertheless, that is a strong force, right? Whenever
yeah,
the society like psychologically thinks things are okay, they spend money. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And so like you can live off of a lie in terms of like economically for a country for quite a long time, right? And
yeah,
so and until the house of cards falls, right? And so what we're going through right now is I think kind of this transition. So, seeing something similar to like 2008, 2009 in terms of like, okay, the short term pain
yeah.
and then getting over it could be something we're going through, but I don't think it's going to be as intense.
I agree. I agree. This next tweet from Miles Dusher I was loving it. So he said, "Put all my money in stables. Phew, I'm finally safe. Now the dollar is crashing." I thought this was a great tweet because it's true. I mean, there's nowhere to hide. There's nowhere to hide. There's nowhere to hide right now. I mean, unless you went into like the yen or the euro, right? I don't even know how they're doing. Like, well, where can the money go if it's leaving the dollar? It has to go somewhere, right? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. And the stables going, or not stables, but the dollar going down and Bitcoin going down. We talk about that. That rarely
Yeah,
happens, like together. So but it looks like
yeah.
Bitcoin's trying to make a rebound here. We'll see.
Yeah, man. We'll get into that in 1 second. So I have one more tweet here from the Crypto Capo. Where are you? Of course I can't fucking find it. I think it's right here. No, it's not. But anyway, Crypto Capo said, this really looks like a bear trap. Selling here would be a big mistake, in my opinion. The bounce should be strong, just needs a trigger. Do you think this is true at all? Do you think Crypto
100%.
Capo? Okay, awesome.
I
Because
actually,
like,
yeah. I feel
got,
that way. I feel like right now, I mean, look at it, right? And typically, the crypto Twitter timeline is like the market kind of does the opposite of the sentiment, right?
yeah,
And so, but if you look at everything, S&P is down, gold's even down now. That was going
yeah,
up. Like the bounce back is going to be glorious, but that's
yeah,
the trigger part of his tweet is the when does that happen? What triggers
yeah,
it? I expect it to be this year. It could go all the way until the start of Q4 though, right? Or
yeah,
around Q4 somewhere. Hopefully it doesn't take that long, but it's just we're in kind of uncharted waters.
yeah,
Yeah. So I do agree though. I think that the bounce back is going to be glorious for all financial markets. Um, but we got to wait until that happens. And I agree too. It's kind of like the bearish times right now. The sell right here could be one of the
mhm,
biggest mistakes. That's
yeah,
my opinion.
100%. So on Crypto Captor, real quick, he was saying recently we're gonna have a bear trap. We're gonna go up to 95, 96, and then head down to 61. And now he's kind of saying that this is, it's not, his data is off there. And so now he's kind of saying we're here. So he's basically saying invalidation of the bull trap. So the bull trap is done. He needs to come up with a new plan here, and I think he's kind of hoping for some upward momentum. But I'm just glad that this chart is now invalidated. And I just don't see us ever getting below 69,420, which was the former all-time high, right? That we had for 4 years after 2021. But we'll see. Let's get into the sad fear and greed here. I don't even want to get into this. It's disgusting. But so last Thursday we were at a 40. Yesterday we're at a 44. Where do you think we are today? My hint for you, dude, is we're like 40% lower than the 44
25.
from yesterday. Oh, hit it on the nailed it, dude. Good job there. Yeah, man. 25. Yep. It
I
just
saw a
looks
post.
bad.
I saw a
Did
post.
you?
I think it was Be Life posted it. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean that's a big drop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean I get it, but it does reflect the panic and fear from crypto Twitter and Twitter in
Yeah.
general, not just crypto Twitter, the financial markets on Twitter. So it makes sense to be that
Yeah.
number.
I agree. Let's get into that Bitcoin price action brought to you guys by Artura.finance. So yesterday we were supposed to have our our trading thing going on, competition. It was supposed to be fun, but we had some issues. We had some bugs, right? But it doesn't mean we're not going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it next week. So look out for that. You won't have it this week, but you'll potentially have it next week. So Artura.finance, these guys are building something really cool, a leverage on L2. On Bitcoin, they're going to be using Hemi for mainnet, right? Hemi is backed by Binance Labs, right? Which means, that coin is going to be heavily held on to. It's going to be on Binance. It's going to be in a lot of different places. So definitely looking forward to the Hemi token. But you guys can potentially get the Hemi token for free when Artura actually goes on their mainnet. I know you'll be able to earn the Artura token and then earning Hemi as well. It's going to be glorious, guys. I can't wait for it. And then right now, if you guys want to kind of get a head start on that, you guys can actually go to Artura.finance right now, connect your Botonics wallet, and actually make one trade. I highly recommend you do it on Tau, Ethereum, or XRP. Because everyone's doing Bitcoin, but they want everyone to kind of trade the other ones. So you potentially could get rewarded for doing that as well. So definitely head over to Artura.finance today and start making some paper leverage trades. I mean, just go short, right? I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know what else is
First time I heard you say that in your whole life.
What do you want from me, bro? I'm beaten down, bro.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Yep. Yeah, I actually think they're doing like a campaign to give you guys a little extra, maybe bonus points if you do those other altcoins on the paper trading side of things. But yeah, guys, help us out here on the YouTube side. Smash that like, subscribe to the channel, make sure you turn your notifications on, all that great stuff. And then on the X side, please share the space, guys, so we can educate onboard as many people to crypto and the Bitcoin ecosystem as possible. And if you could share the stream on Abstract. We greatly appreciate that. Let's jump into some Bitcoin price action. I will be using TradingView again because they, like Shizzy said, they are just working some bugs out here. But let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay, guys, like I'm not gonna lie. Yesterday it sucked because like yesterday, starting the day off when we were in the Bitcoin price action, it just felt so damn good. It felt like everything was baked in. We knew that the blanketed tariffs were coming, and we were just cruising, right? Like we were at 86, 87,000, and once he did actually announce it, I guess it was more than what everybody expected, right? So because of that, it wasn't baked in, obviously. I think if it was more of a 10 to 20% across the board, and maybe the ones that were more aggressive with us, he went a little bit more aggressive, then maybe we wouldn't have had this big of a jump. But who knows? Can't go back and redo that, right? So anyhow, it's unfortunate because we had really good momentum. But it looks like, this morning we were trying to come out of this and it got just turned around and the sell pressure just increased even more. The Dixie started to tank and Bitcoin tanked with it as well. All the markets are down. Gold, which has been cruising up, uptrending the past like 2 weeks is even down. So everything is really down. But look, you always got to look for the silver lining. And to me, the silver lining is, first of all, Bitcoin is still above 80K. So that's definitely a win, in my opinion. Also, with everything dumping, you got to think that some of these excellent traders with all this experience, the Warren Buffetts, the people that like have cash on the sidelines, they put their cash on the sidelines for a reason starting a couple months ago, and they're waiting for their trigger to really to get back into the markets. And once that happens, I think we'll be in a better spot. But short term, yeah, guys, continually probably be volatile, right? Today, I'm just kind of staying back because do I think that we rebound from here? Possibly, but I think we might need a couple days of the hangover, right? So, a bit of a choppy the second half of the day is what I'm expecting. We'll probably hang down and oversold. The MACD probably extend here a little bit longer. It looks like the blue leading MACD line doesn't want to turn up at all yet. And the hour chart is showing us that we're not looking to retest that 50-day EMA channel just yet. In my opinion, we'll need a couple days. So that's what I'm seeing for the second half of today. Just pulling out of here, going into the 4-hour. The 4-hour was looking so good too, but now we are below the 50-day EMA again. Kind of same thing, guys. Expect the next couple of days to be choppy to the downside, possibly. Again, though, like Bitcoin is once these leading indicators haven't really given us too much I guess reason to really have conviction in them because of just the extreme volatility we've had, right? We'll have like a decent first half of the week, or even the past like 4 weeks, we have 1-2 good weeks in a row, and then bam, we're just kind of thrown off again. So just be really cautious right now, guys. I think the area that we're going to have to really defend is that $80,000 mark. But we are at 81,700. Let's see how the rest of the markets play out for the rest of today, heading into the weekend tomorrow. Just touching on the weekly here, which to me is the most important chart because it kind of zooms us out here, right? You can see the MACD just went back into that sell pressure, which sucks. Also, the stochastics kind of looks like it's curling down a little bit. I hate that. But the one thing that we have been continually able to do is protect this top part of the 50-day EMA channel, right? We break down below this, and the bottom part, we could officially kind of be in the bear market territory. But staying above this, protecting this part, even if we dip down here below, but just getting back above it is going to be really important. But right now, we're still protecting it. We're still above the $80,000 mark, which is kind of right at that higher part of the 50-day EMA channel. So let's hope that continues. The others chart is it just looks horrible. Everything outside of the top 10 of crypto plus Bitcoin is the others chart. So a couple of majors, but mostly mid caps and micros looking like it's taking pretty big hit here. So we'll see. I am in the camp, though. I do think that we're just going to be in a hangover period, whether that takes the next 2 days or the next 2 days and the weekend, and then Monday we kind of bounce back. We'll see. But yeah, that's what I got for Bitcoin's price action and the rest of the crypto markets. Just gonna hit on the crypto bubbles, which is pretty horrible for the day. Let's see who the winners are. People that we don't even know: UX Link, DGB, EURS, Hamster. It looks like literally I don't know any of these. Oh, it's because it's the 200 through 300. That's probably why. Let me get back to that first clip here. Yeah. So, yeah, everything in the top 100 is red except for FDUSD, which kind of got attacked. So it had to be green, or it was gonna stay unpegged, right? So, yeah, guys, just don't worry. I don't keep saying that, and I'm showing you data to worry, but I just think we're in this hangover period from yesterday.
I'm gonna show you a chart that's up only.
Yay! What do you got
what
for
it
me?
is? Can you guess what it is?
Up chart. Let me guess. Is
It's
it
not a coin.
Okay. It's in the financial markets though. Obviously.
In the crypto market. Yeah.
Oh, it's in the crypto market. It's not a coin. Is it?
Ready?
It's not. It's yeah.
up only. It's up only.
Oh, what the hell is not a coin? It's
You ready?
NFT? Yeah.
Bitcoin dominance.
Oh man, come on.
But dude, it's up only.
What is it?
So it is at 62%. So the great and the great Benjamin Cohen says he's kind of rooting for 66.
Yeah.
Which is real bad. So it's kind of always been his target for a while now. And every single time we think he's wrong, he eventually is right. Do you think we hit 66? This is 68% Bitcoin dominance.
I think we hit.
I mean,
66.
dude, look at this chart, dude. This is going back to so this is 2021 or 2022. So look at this, sideways and then up. Seriously, up only, bro. With the fake out and then more.
Where was that? When was that fake out? Dang, that was
fake
pretty
out was
that's
December,
pretty drastic.
November, December, when AI coins were going nuts.
Okay. I mean,
Ethereum was up to $4,000 again. Like everything was going pretty crazy. $3,000 ETH and all that stuff. So this
very
is kind of what
short-lived,
everyone's thinking.
Right?
I mean, we're talking November 20th to November. I'm sorry. What is this? This is November to I mean
down there.
Yeah,
where you are.
January 2025. So yeah, but yeah, and then upward momentum again on Bitcoin. It's depressing. It's all good, guys. I hope so. But we gotta get into the roll call today. You promise. All right. Let's kind of get into it today. So on this show, first is first, and every single day we take the first comment and we put them on our handy dandy notebook. So today is the third. My boy Danny Boy had got his 13th win to tie the amazing Webdro. Webdro actually, dude, hasn't had a win since 325. Danny actually had one on the 28th, and then Danny got one on the 3rd. Lackey, Lukey, Yuri, Benji all had wins this week. Let's see who wins tomorrow. But Danny's been someone every single week has at least one. So shout out to Danny.
So wait, who's in first? Are they tied?
Tied for first place, Webdro and Danny.
Ooh, now it's gonna now it gets serious. We'll see.
And then second place, we have a nice. I mean, well, I guess we would say third place, but we have a ongoing battle between Lackey Lukey, who has 6, ASAP Benji, who also has 6. Right, so it's a battle with those guys. But guys, anyone still has time. We still have 200 days left in this. You're probably going to see someone get like clear 50 or 60 wins, but anyone can still get in this. Right now, it seems like Danny Boy and Lackey Lukey are battling every single day. So shout out to both of those guys, man. So Danny was in at 239 and Lackey Lukey was also in at 230. Let me guess, you loaded it up at like 238. So shout out to those guys, man. Danny says, "Oh shoot, I beat Lackey." Lackey says, "What the F?" So shout out to you guys, man. And then Danny tries to lock it in with a $2 super chat. Shout out to Danny. Thank you so much, my friend. PJNZ says, "Oh, come on. You guys are fire." PJNZ was like 7 or 8 minutes late to the party. Mr. Hanky, the Christmas poo, he loves me and I love you. He was in there, bro, at 253. Shout out to my boy, Mr. Hanky. Malam even came in there and tried to get it. Congrats, Danny. Matt's. So this is pretty funny. Matt said cursed ordinal for the one who gets visited by the Reaper the most. Yeah, if you guys want to keep track of that, we will do it. If you guys can keep track of that for us, because I don't know how to keep track of it. You guys even want to go back until like I'll give the cursed ordinal to whoever, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right, because like there's no way for us to tell if we missed it.
Yeah, if we missed it or not. It would like, what if we have something to do that night of a meeting? We're not looking at the chat and then it gets deleted. Like, we have no idea. There's really no way to kind of. But if you guys tell us, if you guys are openly like, yo, Matt gets it every time, then we'll give someone a cursed ordinal for sure. I think you can get one for like $10 nowadays. So Danny Boy says, I'm never getting reaped again. Never again. Nighthawk says, GM. I'm just gonna say it. Nukies are winning this frog.
He's saying Nukies because Danny, yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, man. And then WebJoe, he's like, there's an issue with the no chat replay after the streams are done, possibly related to the Reaper issue.
Maybe in our settings.
Means.
I think he's saying that maybe there's a setting that we might have to where we do like we turn off the chat replay. Maybe I'm not sure. We can look into that though.
Yeah, I've never really touched the settings though, so it would have to be.
And plus, why does it only happen every once in a while?
Well, he's saying that like after the stream's over, there's no chat, but I'll have to look into that. Thanks, WebJoe. I appreciate that. I'll look into that. PJ&Z says dropping a comment in case the Reaper strikes. That's smart, really smart. Guys, but we appreciate the comments. It really helps YouTube has been somewhere we've really been slacking lately, and we don't know why. But X, I mean, I guess we're slacking a little on X too because of the markets, but like we definitely want to get our YouTube numbers up. So if you guys wouldn't mind, please, I beg you to kind of put some chat, put some likes in there, comment, even comment anything every single day. It really helps. Cheaty says, what's up, guys? What up, GG? He says the Tau ecosystem mini bull run has been quite good to me. Yeah, that's like the only area I've been up this month. Everywhere else, I'm getting wrecked. So shout out to the Tau ecosystem. I'm actually taking some profit, GD. I'm not recommend you do it. It's just what I'm personally doing. I want to lock in some of those Tau wins and keep playing that game. GD says there is some interesting things happening on Barra and Sonic chains too. Yeah, no, I agree. I'm very bullish on Sonic. Johnny Utah says Uncle Donald will save our bags. Do you think so? Do you think Donald Trump will eventually save our bags?
Eventually.
Yeah. Steamy J says, yo, then my guy Superfan is here. Shout out to Superfan every single day. Appreciate you, my friend. Glasshopper says, good morning. Good morning, yo. Chief Axel is here. Shout out to Chief Axel. And Tim Baker, my guy, says, maybe we get a big rate cut and get bullish. Yeah, it's kind of what we're kind of hoping for here. Really, really hoping for it, actually. Danny Boy says, Yagobi helped me turn my atomicals also into Bitcoin last night. Thank you for that. Yeah,
no problem,
awesome.
Man. No problem.
Yeah, man. Nat said, imagine if Nat would gain mainstream adoption straight to Valhalla.
He's talking about the mining. He's talking about the miners.
Yeah.
If the miners paid attention to it. I mean, that statement's not wrong. If they did do it, then it would go to Valhalla. The question is, will it? And what's the percentage of that happening? I just don't know.
They have to use Benny's like they have to use his index. Could you? I don't know.
Well, that's probably to your point about the indexer, though. That's probably why they don't participate in a lot of our stuff, anyways. It's because like all of our stuff is off-chain indexing.
Yeah, they don't want to play that game. They just want to dump Bitcoin or buy Bitcoin. I don't know what the hell they do anymore. Danny Boy says, turn your frowns upside down, guys. We're going to be all right. You promised, Danny. He said, yeah, WebJoe, I wonder the same thing about the comments. The competition is real. Yeah, man.
Big Rod.
Shout out to Big Rod, man. Our guy.
It's a good day when Big Rod in the house.
Shout out to Big Rod, man. Afternoon. The market's hurting, everyone. Gotta keep faith. Yeah, man. I really hope so. The comments delete after the show ends. Really?
I feel like they do, right? If you try to replay it right then, but if you wait the next day, I think it actually comes back. Because that's happened to me before. Because I was like, right after we finished our live stream, I had to go back and look for a comment, couldn't find it, but then I found it later. Like it loads them up or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping and I dreamed that, but I remember that somehow.
For sure, man. Big Rod has been catching up all, and we appreciate you, Big Rod, man. Every view, online, offline, it really helps the show, man. Appreciate every single one of you guys who makes roll call every single day. And if you're someone who listens, because there's a lot more listeners than commenters, please make roll call one day. I would love to say your name. I would love to give you the shout out that you guys deserve. Appreciate every single one of you guys every single day. But yeah, man, let's kind of get into the rest of the show here. We do have somebody from Arch joining us in a little bit, so we're going to do that in about 10 minutes, but we do have a couple of things to get into. So Jupiter acquires Drip Labs, a Solana-based digital collectibles platform developer. So Jupiter was one of the few places that actually made money over the last 6 months, right? So you had obviously Pump Fund made bazillions of dollars, but then you also had Jupiter make a lot of money. Yeah, Meteora make a lot of money. Even what's that other one that recently got hit hard? The exchange, Solana exchange.
There's Jupiter. There's Radium.
Remember the one Radium. Yeah, great job there. You got hit hard. So right now, Pump Fun actually is not going to be using these guys anymore, right? They're actually going to be using their own deck. So they have a competing decks now. So Jupiter and Radium have some stuff to do, right? They got to figure something out. And Jupiter seems to be climbing into the digital collectible genre. So what do you think about this? What do you think about these companies potentially going other places, especially the digital collectibles?
So Jupiter also, I don't know if they've launched it yet. They announced they're doing their own meme coin launchpad as well to kind of compete with Pump Fund. But I think they probably realize that they're not going to be able to compete with them. Like maybe they'll get some volume, but nothing like them. So this makes sense for them to acquire successful platforms, and I think this makes sense. Successful companies look for opportunities to acquire other platforms, businesses that have strong potential, but maybe not great capital backing them, or the founders want to sell out or sell off, right? So I think this is what it is, and it makes sense for them to add something else to see if it works.
Yeah, man, I agree. Yeah, so what other type of business, or do you think that potentially places like Jupiter and Radium can get into? Because we do know that they're decentralized DEX, right? You can kind of get into potentially borrowing and lending. You can get into anything really decentralized that you need a DEX for, right? Do you think potentially Jupiter, do they allow leverage by any chance? I know.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, so there is reasons to definitely use Jupiter, but do you think they keep acquiring assets here? I mean, they made a lot of money. Everything else is really cheap, right? So it's probably really easy for them to kind of come in and just grab projects.
Maybe they continue, but I think that like you got to be really strategic with it, right? Like, yes, I think everybody in the Pump Fund mafia in terms of applications made off like bandits, right? Like Jupiter, Meteora, Pump Fund, obviously, but kind of going into uncertain times, especially now that they're going to be detached from Pump Fund. They need to be really strategic still, even if they have a lot of capital. But that doesn't mean that they don't acquire more companies, because like you said, they're getting them on discounts, I'm sure, and they have the leverage, right? Because they have the capital.
Yeah, 100%. Here comes a tweet from the guys over at Fluid. They said, interact with this post if you acknowledge that an airdrop tool for BRC20, runes, and ordinals is in the works at Fluid. So Fluid looks like they're going to be creating an airdrop tool for BRC20s and runes. We do know that they did an airdrop for their pass, and it wasn't nowhere near as expensive as Raul thought. Remember, these passes got airdropped in August, and they actually create their own tool to do that. But now they're creating a tool for you to airdrop BRC20s and runes. Do you think this is a successful business model in the future, an airdrop tool? Do you think it'll get a lot of uses?
I do, if and I believe in them to be able to create like something that's economically more efficient, because they're just like really good with manipulating UTXOs and stuff like that. Like they're good with like the op codes that exist currently with Bitcoin. So I okay, let's say that like they're not necessarily gaining a lot of revenue necessarily from all this, but they can gain more users. So strategically, I think it's just a great idea because like
Yeah.
eventually, I see this being used with projects, businesses, partners. That's future partnerships. It's good for branding.
Yeah. And I was thinking too, they've been working with projects like what is it? Odin, right? Pep Odins. They're working with Sparks. Potentially, you could they're gonna have to airdrop, right? Like a lot of this these tokens, potentially you can do airdrops from the Valhalla account. Let's just say I went in and bought 90% up and I was like, I want to get more holders with this. I can potentially airdrop layer one Bitcoiners, right? With these with these, Valhalla tokens coming from Odin. So the runes at the end of the day, right? 1-to-1. So really curious to see what can come up from that as well.
Yeah, I agree because I know that people there's projects over there looking for something like that. But we got our guy Nakib in the chat says, please create an airdrop tool for ordinals, which anyone can use. Shout out to Nakib. Yeah, hopefully this is something they can maybe add ordinals in there. I know our guy Nakib's been cooking. I'm not gonna say too much more. I gotta we got to get with him and see what that's been. But always a pleasure to see our guy Nakib in the chat and watching. We appreciate your support.
Shout out to Nakib, man. And then the final thing here before we get into the next segment is OrdX. I kind of want to showcase a little bit because this is from a builder over in the Ordinal support desks or OSD. He's building a really Bitcoin collectibles site, very similar to what they're doing with slipping me again. What were we talking about this morning?
Gamma,
yeah, very similar to what Gamma is building. So this is OrdX. I love the way the site looks. I love the guys. I don't know if it's just me, and let me know in the chat. Do you like the white again? I guess I got so used to looking at the black, screens and stuff like that. I mean, I even have my StreamYard screen black now because they enabled that. But like when I see the white screens again, I don't know. I think it looks so clean. But check out ord/x.com. Not saying buy anything. I don't know if these things will actually have any worth, but it's really cool to kind of support OG ordinal guys like the Decentralized. And he's a puppet, right? He's one of the bigger people in the puppet community. So you're seeing a lot of puppet cards and stuff like that. If you guys are interested in any of this stuff, feel free to do it. I mean, everything's really, really cheap. We're talking like $20 and stuff like that. So, a very small collection, 77, stuff like that. So definitely check out what these guys are doing. Support Ordinal's builders. I really recommend doing that. The more we kind of support them, the more things grow. But what do you think about OrdX? Your first time kind of seeing it.
I think it looks cool. It does remind me of that first kind of that right there. It reminds me of Sir Gadfly or like one of those like Gamma art types of things, right? So yeah, I think it's cool. I like the collectible aspect. They're getting this collectible angle right with these like almost rare Pepe style stuff with pups. So that's really cool.
Yeah, man, for sure. Yep. So guys, go check out ord/x.com and explore. So really cool. Yep. Got a couple more minutes until our guest drops in. You want to look at some ordinals, bro? I don't know.
Let's
I just have
do
a
it.
weird feeling
Let's pull them up. Let's pull them up.
The bottom is in for some ordinals. We haven't really done an ordinal market update. Remember, we used to do market updates for ordinals every Wednesday and Sunday. We dig into a guy. I remember being so bullish.
Dude, we did ordinals, we did BRC20s, we did ARC20s, we did tap tokens. We were hitting all of them at one point.
Yeah, so Tapper Wizards are at $12,000 or 0.15. The puppets, dude, are at 3K. The Node Monkeys are at 3K. Quantum Cats are at $3,000. That's insane. Yeah. That's insane, dude. Insane. These were at like $20,000. Like it's absolutely crazy. The Ordinal Maxi Biz are 2,000. Bro, the shrooms are at 65K. Like this bitmaps are back to $20. They got the $30, but we do know there's tons of inflation every single day. But that inflation can get bought up and potentially get back to $30. But runestones are at $135. The frogs, bro, so $700. Man, we got some deals here, man. How do you feel about ordinals right now?
I think that they're on mega sale right now.
Yeah.
Someone was talking about like a shroom sold for like what 0.6, and I think that was like one of
Yeah,
the
60
lowest.
yeah, it was like 65,000 or let me see the crypto. Yeah, so someone needed money, point 0.8.
Okay.
What's the
Well,
floor right now? Let's
yeah,
actually
yeah,
go
yeah, yeah.
see.
Well, yeah, you see, it was 0.6 because the volume was 0.6,
Yeah,
meaning
yeah,
there
yeah,
was
point
one,
6,
yeah,
yep.
one sell. So whatever that was, so 60% of 82,000,
Yeah.
or 80 is probably at the time was like more like 84 or 85 because I think it happened like early yesterday. But
I mean,
I,
8 months
I
ago, one sold for 1.3.
yeah,
It's
but like,
crazy.
so is that like a
Yo.
that has to be like a whale that's just trying to collect and just because buying that at this time,
Yeah.
like I don't know, man, that's ballsy.
I mean, if point 0.6 isn't much to you, then it's like
Yeah,
whatever. If you believe in ordinals,
50K.
then yeah. So I mean, you got to remember, there's only what 40 of these? No, there's 224 of these. So
Yeah.
who knows, man? Who knows? Oof. Yeah, man. Let's kind of look at those runes. What's going on? Probably beaten down like everything else.
No.
Market cap. Let's go back. Keep that badge
No, go to
on.
volume. Go to volume because volume
Oh,
is
you
going to show
mess with
the
it.
best
Okay.
one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
So you have $137,000 dog, bro. We're both dog holders. We're both
37
dog
million. 137
37
million.
million. Sorry, 137 million. We're both dog holders getting wrecked. Pups are at 17. Billy, bro, getting
Ah.
back to the numbers
Oh
it
no.
was in November. This
Oh
ran to
no.
$100 million.
50. 150.
150? Holy
155
shit.
actually. Yeah, the
Wow.
all-time high.
Gizmo at 244. Zbit right there at 255. Decentralized at 1.3. Magic Internet Money under 30 million. This always seems to be like between like 28 and 32 million. Dude, this is bad. But if you were I mean, Liquidium, bro, 13 million. Liquidium
Mhm.
in my eyes is 60-70 million dollars company. I mean, they're doing so much volume on that stuff, man. It's absolutely crazy. Piggy, Red Cat, Romeo, Mr. Yen. Yeah, Mr. Yen, bro. 137K.
That looks
I
like
want to
a
see
like a
Mr.
that
Yen
looks like a
on
Odin.
Odin.
That looks like a Odin
Yeah,
market cap for like a
it
one
does.
of the lower ones, but yeah. It would be
Yeah,
tough to
man.
get Mr. Yen over there because I think liquidity.
Yeah, I
You know what I
agree.
mean? You'd have to have at least probably like $50,000 in liquidity to have it over there. But it does like the tokenomics are 21 million, so it kind of falls in suit with what Odin kind of standard is.
Yeah, man. I'm checking with our guest now, seeing if he's about to pop in, but don't see. Ready when you are. So we'll see if he's gonna hop in. The guy from Arch. Make sure the time right. Yeah, he had the time right. I don't know what's going on. Don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. We'll check Coin Market Cap, see what's going on over there. Give
Yeah,
the
we can do
press a
that.
little
Kind
bit
of
more. Let's check
see.
Ordy.
I'm not gonna be, dude. I'm okay, honestly. And Bitcoin is looking like it wants to kind of. I hope that like the weekly candle can turn back green.
Yeah.
That would make my day. If we can turn that weekly candle back green today, oh man, I'd be happy. But yeah, I can bring up the coin market cap unless you got it. Well, it's up to you.
Yeah, I got it right here. Sorry.
Okay.
I
Oh,
thought
let's
I
go.
had it up. All right, so this Coin Market Cap. Ooh, Ordy's at $7. You remember when Ordy was at $70?
I think what was the all-time high? I think it was like 90, wasn't it? Almost hit
I have it
100.
right here. Let's check it out. Oh,
Yeah. Right there. It's like,
yeah,
no,
like
in the middle. There you go.
yeah,
Right there.
$88.
87. Yeah, $87. Crazy. Crazy. And
Yeah,
it's
man.
$7. So like, is that a buy? Is that a buy?
Well, I think what would you rather have? If I gave you $1,000 and I said you had to buy Ordy or Sats, which one would you buy?
Oh man. No, which one's higher right now?
Well, Sats is way higher than Ordy. So
Is it?
Sats is like 270. So Sats is sitting at a $114 million market cap, while Ordy
Yeah,
is
just hit the
sitting
back button.
at it got to be like what 21 million. So
No. Oh, 21
no, no,
million
no, 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 no. Yeah,
supply. Yeah.
21
No,
million
it's
supply.
higher.
So 146.
146.
Okay. Yeah. Which one are you buying?
Dude, I don't. So I feel like Ordi for some reason. I just feel
Yeah.
like it has that first mover plus like it's just I don't know. I think both will probably have
Yeah.
success, like right. But Ordi to me, I just feel has more of like the Chinese wells that like are probably still, really
Yeah.
deep into it. Sat's still kind of relying on like, Unisat a bit and stuff like that. But I do think there's going to be some success there in the future.
Yeah,
But
man.
like also like it's like if you could pick between those three, it's like Sats, Ordi, and Dog. I still think like I would pick Dog right now,
Yeah.
and then Ordi, and then Sats, just because Dog still, hasn't even been listed, and it's competing with Ordi right now. So
Yeah, man. All right, guys. It is 12 p.m. on a Thursday, which means it is officially Arch Thursday. Arch is bringing you something really special, guys. Arch is going to be doing something really cool. They're actually taking a fast-paced chain. Think Solana, think SVM, right? And they're going to be actually putting it on top of Bitcoin with the transactions actually finalizing on Bitcoin. So what you're going to be able to do, think of this. You're going to be able to buy a puppet, right? And then in that same Bitcoin block, you'll be able to take that puppet and actually take a loan against it, right? All before that puppet ever hits your wallet, right? So that's what kind of Arch is bringing you guys. They're bringing you guys a fast DeFi, fast transactions, and a lot more. I mean, we're talking it's going to be quick, it's going to be satisfying, and you do not have to wait for the mempool. Really looking forward to what Arch is building. They should be going live this year on mainnet, but right now they're on testnet. You guys can go over there and you guys can play on products like Saturn. You guys can play on products like Funky Bit, and there's so much more that is coming. Really looking forward to it, and really looking forward to talking to Caleb today. So let's bring him up. Caleb, welcome to OnChain Revolution.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
yeah, thanks for joining us, man. So Caleb is the head of eco for Arch Network. Has an extensive background working with some like a VC team as well before, and right now you seem to be kind of in charge of community events. Getting the Rust developer ecosystem kind of together for Arch as well. Could you talk a little bit more about like what your role is with Arch for the community?
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, good to meet you guys. I think this is the first time that
nice to
I'm
meet you.
probably speaking to everyone here. So, yeah, I mean, I entered crypto really through my university. There's a big group there called Franklin DAO, which I was a founding member of and led the investment team over there. We were doing a lot of consulting for venture firms. I then ended up spending 2 years in venture at Big Brain Holdings, led into the investment in Arch over there, as well as in Pump That Fund and some other awesome projects.
Nice.
And I was just so bullish on Arch, I had to come on full time, leading ecosystem efforts. We're mainly responsible for just driving developer growth activity and curating our ecosystem landscape. We're taking like a very curated approach to who we're working with and who we want to promote as our flagship applications on Arch. And so that's basically the job.
Nice. So I'm curious of what kind of response that you're getting on average with like new upcoming Rust developers, right? Because they're coming, obviously if you are a Rust developer, everybody automatically thinks Solana. But Solana is pretty saturated, with a ton of developers. And so whenever you're trying to kind of, I guess push Arch and make Arch attractive to them, what kind of response are you getting from them? Are they instantly like interested, or does it take a lot of work to kind of reel them in?
Well, I think like if you look at transactions on Solana, they're mostly meme coins, and that's been sort of like the dominant user action that that's on Solana at this point in time. So a lot of developers are realizing that there's a lot more users, a lot more marginal LPs available on the Bitcoin ecosystem that they can tackle with the same skill set that they've learned by building on Solana. So far, its developer response has been really, really positive. A lot of people are really excited about what's possible on Arch and Bitcoin. And yeah, we've seen like a huge community spun up from that.
That actually makes a lot of sense too, because it is really meme driven, pump fun and we talked earlier about the was it, now I have a mind blank, not Radium, the other one, kind of all working together, the decks
Jupiter.
that they
Meteora.
Meteora and Jupiter, right, all working together. And it's like the interest definitely seems like it's meme coin interest in terms of users, and taking an opportunity for that and yes, some utilities coming back, but giving them a place to say, hey, utility is going to be huge here, and it's going to be working with the Bitcoin blockchain and that ecosystem. They're probably attracted to that, I assume.
100%. And there's so much volume, so much TVL to be unlocked that's lied dormant for so long on Bitcoin. The opportunity is very clear. And there's a lot of initiatives happening right now outside of Arch that I think are kind of getting people warmed up to that idea, at least traditional Bitcoin holders. And essentially Arch is going to come in and swoop that all away.
Yeah, man. So what are you most excited about with Arch? Let's say Arch launch tomorrow. Are you excited about like potentially playing with the pump fund model like Funky Bit, just messing around with Saturn, add in liquidity, or is there something else maybe that we don't know about that you're kind of excited about?
Well, I think that one of our biggest value props is like how we unlock these meta protocols that have spun up over the past 2 years. We basically give the developer tooling to scale these applications and unlock liquidity like we haven't seen before. So from a consumer standpoint, that's what I'm very excited about. And I'm really excited to see how runes and ordinals specifically are able to be unlocked on Arch. There's a big instance. I was gonna say there's also like a big institutional focus on our end as well. I think Babylon kind of opened up Pandora's box on Bitcoin yield for a lot of people who custody their Bitcoin with Anchorage, Copper, Kobo, and now all these custodians are opening up yield products on Bitcoin to their clients, creating whole sales teams for them as well. And so that's a big focus of ours as well. Like, if we can get one-click deposits on Arch yield products, what type of products do we want those to look like? And so that's another huge focus of ours as well.
Yeah, so DeFi and bringing the the big institutions in the decentralization and into potentially using Arch on chain, and maybe even doing some really cool stuff, even with some centralization with Arch. I mean, you can create, and then they can use potentially the Bitcoin blockchain via Arch, right? So that's really gonna be cool to see. Kind of like an experiment and kind of seeing what they do on Bitcoin in a fast-paced environment, because right now I think they see Bitcoin as this the slow-fi, maybe it's not for us, we'll create our own chain. But Arch is kind of giving them the opportunity to build on Bitcoin and do that in any way they want.
I think Matt had a funny tweet a few days ago with a video of our command line block explorer, and you just see the blocks zooming by.
I saw that.
We're going to be insanely fast. We are insanely fast already, but mainnet is going to be fast.
Yeah. And you kind of having some of that VC background, so you kind of understand like what investors the mindset of an investor and stuff like that. And we've noticed from having Arch Network for how many weeks in a row, a lot, right? And your projects are really kind of like split up, and you can have the degen fund, but then they can get really serious into RWA and being able to kind of tokenize these real world financial products that have never been tokenized before. And that's more attractive, I think, to like the institutions and stuff like that, right? Like, how can we offer our clients, our consumers, a tokenized version, since everything's going over here? We don't really want to mess with the fun. That fun stuff is kind of for like the people that are everyday degens or whatever. We have like high-end clients and stuff, and we're starting to see those type of products come into the Arch when we do this every week. We have a new project coming on and stuff. How do you view Arch? Do you view Arch would that be the strongest part, or what do you feel like it's going to be more of the degen side?
Well, I think you have to appeal to every type of user on chain, and I don't think that there's a lot of composability with them as well. So like for example, you have this more degen marginal user that likes to trade perps, and then you can have an institution that's interested in getting exposure, maybe betting against them through like an LP vault on a perps DEX, for example, like how Hyperliquid works. So there's a lot of ways to kind of like intertwine, interrelate these two characters. But we're just going to try to appeal to all of them, and we'll see who comes.
Amen. Arch has an opportunity to onboard a lot of people from Solana, a lot of people from EVM based chains and stuff like that, because what they're doing is different than anyone's really ever tried before. What do you think is the best onboarding plan? We talked about bringing potential new devs and new projects over, but what do you think Arch is going to be doing about bringing in the user or the consumer to Arch?
Well, I think a really cool value prop of Arch, right, is that we're fully compatible with all the Bitcoin wallets that you're already familiar with. So we're not asking you to switch over to MetaMask, Rabby. We don't want you to bridge over anywhere, right? We just want you to stay on your Bitcoin wallet. Xverse has 400,000 monthly active users, right? It's a huge user base that we're unlocking there. So I would say like that part is really cool, alongside giving Rust developers a new platform and a new asset class that they can unlock.
Yeah, man.
Awesome. Okay, so is there any part of like the eco that I guess that might be new and maybe a little bit of alpha if you have any? I understand if you can't let anything go yet, but anything for the audience in terms of like maybe somebody, a builder or something that people could get excited about?
Bro, I'm usually the one begging for alpha. Not
I
you. What's
know.
going on?
Well, I gotta take advantage of having the head of eco on with us. So.
Well, it's like asking me like who my favorite child is. It's it's very tough.
I'm just kidding.
Hey,
That's
note
hilarious.
that his family watches every episode. So I was just kidding.
Hey, Shizzy's family. Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. I think Matt had a good answer this other day. Like, I'll like the one that gets the most amount of transactions.
There you go.
But right now we're really excited about all of them coming on board. And what I will say is that there's going to be a large influx of projects coming in over the next few months. I can kind of tease this, that we are planning an accelerator program for projects building directly on Arch. We're going to be deploying around 7 figures across 4 to 5 projects. Wow. So that's all I can share for now. There will be more announcements towards the end of the month, and applications will open at beginning of May. So really excited for that, and to be kind of like spearheading that over at Arch. It's cool to put my venture hat on alongside the operator one as well.
Yeah, well, that works. I mean, that counts as alpha. I mean, like a grant program. So huge, I appreciate that. Yeah, definitely.
So I have this project that I want to pitch. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so big RWA, right? No, I'm just kidding. But man, it's been absolutely awesome to have you on, man. Really appreciate your time and really appreciate what Arch is doing for Bitcoin. It's awesome to be able to cover something that's so innovative and so different. But we'd love to give you a couple last words for our audience. The floor is yours.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I mean, for any Rust developers out there, we just started our weekly bounty program. We're starting with like very beginner smart contracts on Arch. Honestly, your grandma could probably write these. And winners get cash prizes each week. You also get the mentor tag in our Discord and access to exclusive recruiting opportunities within our ecosystem. So definitely sign up for that. We have a Dora Hacks link and a tweet that you can find pretty easily on our Twitter. And yeah, I would direct all Rust developers over there because it's a really good opportunity that I don't think that many people are taking advantage of yet.
Yeah, for sure, man. Appreciate that. And if you guys were listening, if you're a Rust developer, head over to the Arch Discord to get details on how to participate in that. But Caleb, again, thank you so much for your time. We always appreciate the Arch team. I mean, you guys are one of the teams that like sends your, founder, co-founder, high level, executives. I know that sounds really corporate, but like, you guys have the director titles and all that stuff. And we appreciate that because it's not common to have that directly from, the leadership messaging and stuff. So we appreciate you, and we'll definitely talk to you soon.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
All right. Take it easy.
See you, man. Oh, sorry. Oh, there he is. All right, guys. That is our show for you guys today. Really appreciate every single one of you guys. 275 people in here on X and YouTube. And then remember, we got guys over on Twitch. We really appreciate you guys. Rumble, of course. And then, of course, Abstract. Everyone who's watching on Abstract. Appreciate every single one of you guys, man. Every single day in here. But that's our show. And yeah, man, get out of here.
Yeah, man, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us, even though it was a bloody day today, but it looks like maybe we bounced a little bit back. Without you guys, we couldn't do this. I always have to, want to give you guys thanks for that, because you don't understand how appreciative we are. But also our partners, without them, we couldn't do it as well. And if you could check them out, we would greatly appreciate that. Emblem Vault is the interoperability tooling for Bitcoin ordinals. You're going to be able to jump your puppets, frogs, node monks, quantum cats, maybe, if you're still interested in those, over to Merlin, Base, Abstract, Arbitrum, eventually Solana. And you're going to be able to use their agent AI agent Hustle to be able to help you vault those and bridge them over, or jump them over is what's actually called. Also, don't forget about their TGE for their Runes token that's going to be coming out in September. You can actually participate in that on OpenSea right now. If you go search, it's kind of like a pre-purchase, pre-order, whatever you want to call it, pre-sale. If you search Emblem Vault, Emblem Founder Vaults, you can see they are ERC 721s. But during the TGE in September, you will actually have the runes released into your Bitcoin wallet. So really exciting stuff. You can learn about all that at emblem.vision. And BetBTC is the predictions marketplace for the Bitcoin ecosystem. We've been messing around with a lot of the new features coming with these guys, man. Super exciting stuff. Just trust us on this. But right now they have their Blitz product, to where you can actually, you have a 10-minute basically clock to decide if you think Bitcoin, BNB, Solana is going to go up and down. My suggestion is wait till that clock gets to a minute and then make your decision, but you can do whatever you want. And then an additional 10 minutes to see if you won or lost. And if you won, you get paid out immediately, because it is a blitz market, so you'll know the result. Also, just look out for their future features, such as create your own markets. It's going to be awesome, guys. You can kind of create your own success path with that, as well as bet with friends. It's going to be really exciting. You can learn more at betbtc.win. And Artura Finance is the perps and leverage DEX of the Bitcoin ecosystem, going to be launching on Hemi Bitcoin Layer 2 coming up very soon. Should be by the end of this month. But Hemi is actually backed by Binance, so there's going to be a lot of support for that chain. You can actually trade synthetic Bitcoin fungibles like Sats, Ordi, Doggo to the Moon, and eventually on mainnet you'll be able to trade tokens that are popular outside the ecosystem like XRP, Tau, stuff like that. But right now you can participate in the paper trading, which they're on Botonics for that. All you got to do is make a single trade, and your wallet address will go into a raffle to get part of their TGE. Might not be a huge amount, but still something, and you'll get in early. As well as you're going to be able to earn it passively with their staking vaults to kind of provide the liquidity there as well. You can learn about everything about Artura at artura.finance. Fluid tokens are the UTXO wizard devs. We talked a little bit about them earlier. They were the first to offer retail staking vaults to the public. If you are a founder of a Ordinal collection, or you etch the rune with an established community, head over to their Discord and ask them how to get a staking vault set up. They'll hook you up. It'll be good for your community, in my opinion. You got stuff like Pep Odin's and Sparks from actually Odin.fun that were able to bridge their runes over to Bitcoin Layer 1 and start a staking vault with Fluid. So definitely exciting stuff, guys. You can learn all about Fluid tokens at fluidtokens.com. But again, get in contact with them and join their community on their Discord. And Merlin Chain is your number one scaling solution for Bitcoin native L1 assets and protocols. If you're a builder on Bitcoin Layer 1, you want your protocol to be a bit more quick and seamless, you can start building on Merlin Chain. They have great builder support there. And if you're a retail user and you want to swap for Doggo to the Moon, merlinswap.org has a strong liquidity pool there for you guys to swap with. And don't forget, if you do hold Merlin tokens, you can help secure the chain in the proof of stake staking campaign right now. You can earn up to 15% APR with your Merlin tokens. Really, really good rate in my opinion. And then they're going to be adding Bitcoin very soon as well. You can learn all about Merlin Chain at merlinchain.io. And lastly, but not least, don't forget about our integrated partners in Foxy AI, building the metaverse on Bitcoin called the Bitverse, and the first-person shooter game called Cypher Striker, which we typically live stream every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern. We haven't done it the past couple weeks because they are working on updating the game system. So we will update you guys as soon as we get the notification for the next one. And everybody's invited. All you need is a compatible wallet, so you can go to their site and see which wallets they accept there. And Ordinal Hive is your aggregator Ordinal marketplace for Bitcoin layer 1 and layer 2. The cheapest Ordinals around will be on Ordinal Hive, but they're also loaded up with trader tools as well, like live mempool insights to see if someone accidentally fat fingered one of their node monks or a puppet or something, and you can try to take advantage of that and grab that out of the mempool. But we are so thankful for you guys checking out our partners.
Yep. Hit on a couple comments real quick. Danny says Udi helped suck a lot of the money out of the Ordinal market after it's already been wrecked. Yeah, I agree. He said I need BDC to go up. Shout out to Danny, man. We all do. He said, do you guys get a Teddy? No, I don't think either of us did. Kai FX said I'm bullish. That sounds fun to do some development. He says if I wasn't so busy already. Yeah, development seems to be that'd be really cool to help out a team. I think everyone should potentially join a community, join a team, and kind of help out that project that they truly believe in. It actually benefit you, hopefully, and then them as well. So definitely check that out. But if you guys have a few more minutes and wouldn't mind checking out OnChainRevolution.io, we have some of the best articles dating all the way back to last year. If you know someone just entering the space, please send them our website. We really feel like you can help them get started and code up to where we are today. If you guys need a VPN, we got that Nord VPN, guys. In my opinion, is the best. I've played with many VPNs, but Nord has always been my go-to. You guys can use free ones. There's free ones out there. But in my opinion, it's stupid not to pay the $3 a month for Nord. I think I paid $36 for the year. But guys, you do not want to be going to websites with your IP sticking out, right? I know we all, sign into Google or Amazon, and it says, well, for me, for instance, it says, oh, there's been a login in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and it's like, oh crap. Like I didn't have my VPN on. Don't always have your VPN, guys. Always have that VPN on, and get Nord if you're interested. If you guys are going to Bitcoin at 2025 Las Vegas, it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. But do not wait till May to get your tickets. Get them as soon as possible and get them through us. They go up every Friday going forward, guys. These things are going to be like $3,000 a piece. Do not wait. Get them as soon as possible and get them through us. If you guys need merch for that event or any event, click our store tab. That'll take you to our third-party store. We supply the logos, and you guys can check that out and get some of the best merch. It definitely helps the show as well. And if you guys would like us to add something, just let us know. We can pretty much add anything to the store, your PFP, or whatever you guys want. And after we add it, it'll be there for everyone to potentially purchase. So definitely check out everything here at OnChainRevolution.io. And guys, we are live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 3 p.m. UTC. Check us out all week, guys. And until tomorrow.
Peace.
OnChain Revolution roll call. Market recap. You not bullish enough. No. You're not bullish enough. No. Look at the price go. Bitcoin control. Why you still coping? Price action rolling. Don't fall for bear trap. Swapping indexes and putting it up in the sex. I can take profit right now. OnChain is where I be now. You can never look back. They don't want you to know. How did the market react? Fear and greed gotta adapt. Now we bridging the tokens and marching the network right now. You know how crazy we are. Nookies are savages now. They know how crazy we are. Chain abstraction, main attraction. OnChain Revolution.